Today we will look at Henry Fox and Lady Caroline Lennox elopement. Henry Fox and Lady Caroline Fox would have a scandalous marriage, one that shook English society to its core, a scandal that tore Parliament and the nobility into two factions, those that supported Fox and his brazen attitude to the old regime and way of life, or those that thought it was inexcusable for a daughter of a noble house to engage with a commoner with no aristocratic history. Lady Caroline Lennox came from a wealthy aristocrat family. She was the eldest daughter of the Duke of Richmond. The family boasted its ties to the Stuart monarchy. Her grandfather was the son of the illustrious and disastrous Charles II. His mistress, Louise de Querouaille, Duchess of Portsmouth. Fox first met Caroline in the winter of 1733, at Christmas time in Goodwood. He was introduced to her by two of his powerful friends. The first was his best friend and one of the few who would never betray him, Charles Hanbury Williams, who, like Fox, came from humble beginnings. The second friend was one of influential background and good ancestry, Henry Pelham, who was the younger brother of Thomas Pelham, the first Duke of Newcastle. His brother, Stephen Fox, was a good friend to the Duke, who welcomed Stephen on equal footing. However, the same could not be said for Henry. He entertained the Richmonds at several dinners, going out of his way to earn affection from the Duchess by obtaining truffles, a rare treat in this time. These events occurred in 1743. For many months the lovers passed letters, but when Henry asked for permission to court Caroline, he was rebuffed most resolutely. However, this only strengthened Caroline's resolve to be with Fox. Here they would hatch a plan to elope together. On May the 11th, the Richmond family were to leave for Goodwood. However, Caroline proposed to leave sooner, to escape with Henry. This she planned to do with her father, while her father was holding a ball for the Prince of Wales on May the 9th at Richmond House. On May the 3rd, Caroline was escorted out of her house by a close family friend, Henry Pelham, who was of course a close loyal friend to Fox, and not the Duke. Here she would travel with Charles Spencer, the third Duke of Marlborough, who escorted her to Charles Hanbury Williams's house. Here Henry and Caroline would be married, but so secret was the wedding, only the clergyman, Charles Spencer, and Charles Hanbury Williams were in attendance. The clergyman didn't even know who he was marrying. Then, on the 8th of May, a day before her father was to receive the Prince of Wales, Caroline disappeared with Fox. Fox obliged the Duke with a transcript. She is not in my house, so it is in your Grace's power to let it be a secret till you go to Goodwood. This missive was received with the expectation that the Richmonds were loud in their opinion that they would vow eternal resentment towards the Fox family and their allies who had allowed this to come to be. London society was in an uproar of activity. Henry Pelham was recounted to treat this event as an affair of the state, which went to show the seriousness of these wild actions of the young couple. He himself said, I thought our fleet or our army were beat, or Mons betrayed into the hands of the French. His wife, Lady Pelham, addressed the issue in support for her, as she was quoted, my most noble friend Lady Caroline. She also outraged, along with Henry, at those that cavilled Fox's parentage. It would be many years until reconciliation was reached, but in 1748, when their eldest grandson was born, they released their abhorrent resentment towards Henry. It was also at this time that Henry was now politically more powerful than the Duke and his family. He was now Secretary at War. The Duke was renowned for saying that his daughter's husband has proved himself better than a mere son of a footman, though the funny side is that this footman, Sir Stephen Fox, Henry Fox's father, was a devout adherent and adviser to his own grandfather, Charles II.